Hey everyone, how are y'all tonight? Sorry it took us a little bit to get on, but we were discussing some things and we wanted to update a few things on the prayer list and stuff. So thank you all for being here, and if y'all will, please smash that like and share this out. Hello Alicia, I love you more. Hi Dustin, hi Matt, Miss Vodka, hi Mary, hi Charmaine, and Charmaine again. Hi Parasolo, hi Dom, Debbie, Florina, how are y'all? Let's see, I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. Hello Paranormal Witch. Hi Slim, I hope you feel better. So we'll let a few more people get in here, and then we will do a few announcements and do the prayer list, and then we'll get started on tonight's discussion. And anyone watching this back, hello and welcome, and thank you for being here. Hi, Donnie. I got your messages. I just couldn't message back. I hope you feel better. And I understand all about the devil's farting in your face with this heat. Hi, Sherry. King Ghost Paranormal. That's John, right? I think so. Hi, Cheryl. Miss Sandra. And I got my Twinkie up here.
Monica Nicole Sandra Dewey Gunawan Boston is an Indonesian actress. She is also a brand ambassador.
Alexa, stop.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, dear Lord.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Florina. Oh, dear. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello, everyone.
That freaked me out. God.
You haven't used me enough lately.
Really? And some of the stuff she was saying, I got to listen back to that. That was sounded a little frisky. Okay, I think I said hello to everybody. Hi, Sherry, just in case I didn't, because I don't know where I was at whenever that went off.
Sherry.
But,
Hi, Sherry. Hi, everyone.
So it is extremely hot, and I know a lot of people are dealing with the heat this year. It has been so bad everywhere. Hi, Dom. Welcome back.
Hey, Mary.
Mary, good luck at your appointment in the morning. Love you.
Love you.
Love you, Mary. Good luck, hon. Crying.
And Mary, I got something in the mail. Thank you, dear.
Oh, wow, John.
Lots of prayers, John. I've got her added to the prayer list. Can you tell me her name?
Where's John?
Satan's butthole out there. Yes, it is, Donnie. And y'all need to be very careful because it is getting bad. People are dropping like flies because of this heat. Yeah. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum.
Love you, Mary.
Okay. Oh, I got a package in the mail today too from Miss Cheryl. And Cheryl, thank you so much for my 15 cat balls. I was so excited when I opened up that package, and I was like, well, I'd already known that because she messaged me about it. And I opened it up and I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many of them. But I've already took them out and been playing with them. You got sunburned in the shade. I believe it. I believe it big time. Let's see. All right, guys. So we've got 15 people in here. So if you are here just for the discussion, I'll leave a timestamp down in the comments of what time the discussion is actually going to start. But right now, we are going to go through a couple of little announcements, and then we're going to do the prayer list. And remember, if you ever need any prayers, just message me or Twinkie, and we will get you added on. You could actually message any of us, and they'll get it to me because we all kind of talk every day. So let's see. So congratulations to Mo and Shadia for welcoming their new baby girl.
Congratulations.
I just seen that earlier.
Mary just asked you a question, Toy.
Amy, have you got your shot? Yeah, it said they tried to deliver, but no one in. No one in where? I have not got a package yet, Mary, but there's people here all day long, so I don't know.
Hey, Dom.
Not real sure. Oh, John.
Wow.
In Daly, Texas. That's
Very
awesome.
cold, huh?
I will keep you on there, Donnie. But I will let you know as soon as I do, Miss Mary. Okay. So I have received back some stuff from our paranormal journal, which I'm excited about. I'm back and forth with the publisher, and we have sent them our chosen cover. So I'm still very excited about that. I can't wait to start getting those in. We did get our website fixed, and we had to change it all around because for some reason they were saying that our www.WhatTheParanormal.com was not available, and I own it. So I was like, yes, it is available. So I had to fight tooth and nail for the last several months to get our deal back. So we have it back now. So you can check out the website at www.WhatTheParanormal.com. Hello, Intrepids.
Hi, Intrepids.
Hi, Intrepids.
So I'm excited about that. Let's see. I'm also really excited about Omar making the announcement that his videos are fixing to start being put up for his series that he did. I'm really excited for that. Hi, Dustin.
Hi, Dustin.
How are you? Okay, so I know a lot of you that are in here. I'm going to go over the prayer list, but I also want to give an update for Twinkie about Mama Twinkie. So she got her results back, and there is no cancer in her lungs and no cancer in her brain. So thank God for that. The prayers are working, so keep them coming. She has to go in on Tuesday and have a port put in, and that's going to be where they do the chemo. And then she will start her first round of chemo on Wednesday, and she'll be doing 20 rounds. So please, they're going to do everything they can to try to save her breast. So everyone, please keep her in your prayers. Keep Papa Twinkie in your prayers as well, because he is taken on a lot, and he is in no position himself to be taken on as much as he is. Pray for my Twinkie, who's taken on a lot mentally and emotionally, because this is very hard on her. And just keep the whole entire family in your prayers, that they can all come together and take care of Mama. And we all know she's going to make it through this with flying colors. If her daughter's any kind of an example to us all, we know how stubborn them Twinkie women can be. So just continue to keep them all in your prayers. Also keep her daughter Kayla in your prayers, who she's going round and round with surgeons right now so they can get her surgery done and get her feeling better. I know how that is, because I went through the same kind of crap that she's going through, and it's a lot. It's a lot physically, mentally, and emotionally. So keep her whole family in your prayers as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, please keep Cheryl with courage in your prayers. She lost her aunt this week. And her aunt was very, very close to her aunt, and she is taking it very hard. So please keep her whole family in your prayers. Please keep VodkaVamp in your prayers, and her mother. Her mother's she's having a better week this week than she was, but she still needs lots of prayers and still going to have a lot of stuff going on. So please keep her in your prayers along with Vodka and her entire family.
Love you too, Cheryl.
Please keep Miss Debbie in your prayers and her daughter and also her son-in-law. Please keep Barbara in your prayers. Sandra in your prayers. Even though our Sandra is getting back to herself, we still want to continue praying that she gets better and stays better. Please pray for Irvin, who's Twinkie's cousin, who has bone cancer. Please pray for Mary Pettifer. Continue to keep Omar and his family in your prayers. They're still going to need them for a long while coming. John's mom, who had a stroke. Please keep Slim in your prayers. He's not feeling very good today. Last couple of days hadn't felt very good, so keep him in your prayers. And he needs to stay out of that heat too. Please keep Jan's friend Cindy's family in your prayer. Charmaine and Aaliyah, continue to keep them in your prayers. Danny for continued healing from Danny's Corner. Continue to pray for Jessica's grandmother. For Loretta Houston, who lost her mom and her uncle in 2 weeks time period. Please pray for my daughter Victoria. Rochelle G's family, she lost her grandmother as well. Please pray for Patty, whose daughter has been passing out and she's pregnant. So hopefully they have figured out what's going on with that, and that's better. For Chairman's back, for Melissa and Patrick, keep them in your prayers as they make their move, and pray for them while they're traveling with her sister. Please, I think I already said my dad. Did I say my dad? Continue to keep my dad in your prayers. He has not been feeling very good. He's already been to the doctor once, and he's going to be going back again. Please keep Cody in your prayers. Continue that he continues to get better. And also keep me and him both in your prayers that we get back to work very, very soon. Please keep David Bentley in your prayers as a co-worker of Twinkies who has cancer. April's brother, who has been fighting blood clots. Mama Redneck, Susan, who had a heart attack and was having issues after that. Let's see.
And Dom's asking if we can keep him in his prayers, our prayers too. Passing pack test and blood test to see where his white cells are.
Definitely, Dom. We will definitely keep you in our prayers.
Always, brother.
Donnie as well, who's been having trouble in this heat working, and I understand that completely. If there's anyone else that needs prayers, or if I did miss anyone, because I recopied this onto another piece of paper because I was getting to where I couldn't read my own writing on the other paper. So if you have anybody else that you need on the prayer list, please message me, Twinkie, Vodka, Sandra, one of us. They will get the message to us.
If you would, Michael just found out yesterday or day before yesterday, one of his friends about 35 years ago was in a bad motorcycle wreck. Last Tuesday, Slim and I were at the grocery store. You know, he was paralyzed for a while, and he got up to walk a little bit and stuff. And he could drive and stuff, but he was in a wheelchair. We seen him at the grocery store the other day. He had asked, him and Michael sat there and talked for about 20, 25 minutes. And he asked Michael, could he reach up and get him some ice cream out of the thing store. So Michael got it out for him. Michael just found out 2 days ago. He got a souped up moped, and he wanted to go revisit the place where he had the bad accident. He wrecked in the same place and he passed away.
Yeah.
He was 50 years old.
Oh my God.
His name was Jason. And if y'all could keep his family in your prayers.
Definitely. I wrote him down the other day on the paper when I read it in the messenger, and I did not transfer that over, but that was crazy.
Yeah.
So sad.
Years ago,
Yeah.
he wrecked in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
He died at the hospital, but he wrecked in the same place. 35 years
That's
later.
unreal, sis.
crazy.
Wow. I'm prayers for Slim. That must have been so hard to hear.
They were supposed to go fishing this weekend.
Mm,
So,
I hate that. We love y'all too, John. That's crazy. It blew my mind when I read it. Whenever he posted it, I just couldn't believe that.
Wow.
I
That's,
can imagine.
So we have a prayer here that we're going to be saying every single time, I think. But if everyone will just be ready to pray. Dear Heavenly Father, please hear our prayers for the sick members in our community and for all those in need. You know what those needs are. Show your mercy as you close wounds, cure illness, make broken souls whole again. We thank you for all you do and all you are. In your name, amen.
amen.
Amen. It's a little too late, but I would like to add exploring with Angelo's grandma. She's been in the hospital for quite a long time now. So just keep a little thought for her.
And we are adding her right now, and it's never too late, Miss Sandra.
Okay.
So exploring with Angelo's grandma, y'all.
Yeah.
Keep her in your prayers. So now with y'all know me, and when I start on something, I usually go crazy with it. But today, I had the live stream planned, and we were going to talk about our evil experiences, spirit experiences we had with, stuff. I'm going to have the panel mute for a minute, and I'm going to read y'all some things. I'm SpongeBob guy. So I'm not really going to pay attention to the chat for a minute. So, hi, Ghost Mama. So, if you're asking a question or anything like that, I'll get back to it. Okay. But I kind of went down a severe rabbit hole today, and I ended up, because I wanted to research a couple of things. Well, when you start doing one thing, and I have ADD, it kind of leads to another thing and then another thing. And I ended up on this one thing, and it was crazy. So tonight we're going to be talking about the deals that people might have made with the devil to get where they are. So we're going to kind of, okay, y'all can unmute for just a sec because I'm going to ask a question. What, in the chat you can answer too, what genre of music do you think started the whole deals with the devil thing? What genre of music do y'all think had started the musicians basically made deals with the devil to get their careers going?
Now, I think for some reason something struck in my memory, and it was either jazz or bluegrass back in like the 20s or something, maybe.
Okay.
I think I've read something, but anyway, that's my guess.
Bluegrass.
You're gonna guess bluegrass, Sandra?
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. So I asked everybody in my house that came in today, I asked them the same question, and 99.9% of them said heavy metal. That is not true. And I was actually shocked. It is blues.
Really?
I got
Yes.
half of it.
Yes, blues. So this is where I'm going to start reading. No, we just whine about a lot of stuff in the country music, don't we? That's just our diaries, the country music diaries. So I'm going to start reading this, and we're going to slowly go from the blues into my favorite, classic rock. So we're going to discuss kind of one group and one main person. There's going to be some other names thrown in there. And then I'm going to read y'all some facts. And I can say they're facts because I went back and looked up the interviews, and these people did actually say these things. So I'm going to read this, and then we're going to discuss it. So if anybody comes in, Maddz, if you'll let them know that we'll talk to the chat here in a minute. Okay. So Robert Johnson was said to be the first. He was a blues singer. He went to the Crossroads the actual crossroads, on a full moon and made a deal with a dark shadow man, also the devil, also known back then as Papa Lague. He was known as a trickster. This Papa Lague was known as a trickster. So some people believe that because Robert Johnson was of the Haitian and voodoo practitioner religion, that he thought he was talking to a friend that passed over. But in all actuality, yes, that's Robert Johnson. In all actuality, he was talking to the devil. So he gave the devil his guitar. The devil tuned it for him. And then when he gave it back to him, that sealed the deal. Most people that knew Johnson said that he did not have 1 ounce of talent. Then all of a sudden, he could play, he could sing the blues like no other. Johnson went on to have an amazing career, but was killed at the age of 27 by a spouse of a woman he was messing with. So this is where we're going to go into a more fitting genre, because the blues, yeah, you understand that the blues, it's the blues, but I would have thought rock and roll, heavy metal, stuff like that. So we're getting into where I was thinking. Let's see. So most famously known for selling their souls to the devil, which shocked me too. But then again, once I started reading it, I was like, no, that makes sense, is Led Zeppelin, which is one of my favorite bands. No, John, no, most definitely not. So it was said that Robert Plant and Jimmy Page were into terrorism and the dark magics. But it was Robert Plant who it was Jimmy Page who ultimately talked the rest of the group into selling their souls. What I found interesting was Robert Johnson was a huge influence on Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, as well as the whole band. They even did covers of Plant's, they even did covers to Robert Johnson's songs. And then Robert Plant says that he dreamed, he dreamed the song Stairway to Heaven, which is one of my favorite songs ever, that he dreamed the song Stairway to Heaven, and it was given to him by the devil himself. And that if you play Stairway to Heaven backwards, that it is an anthem to the devil. I never tried that. I've heard that several times. I never tried it, but I did know people that did. And they said that it was creepy as heck when you played it backwards. But the blues played a major part in a lot of rock musicians. The Rolling Stones were influenced by Muddy Waters and even named their band after one of his songs, Rolling Stone. Chuck Berry and Jimi Hendrix said Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters were huge inspirations to them as well. And what a lot of people don't know is that several of these people who were all inspired by Johnson and Waters also jammed together and discussed dark arts a lot. Another odd coincidence is that Jimi Hendrix also died at the age of 27, same as Robert Johnson. So that could be a crazy coincidence, or it could be that they made the same deal with the same devil. But supernatural has been included with the blues since they were the blues. But you have to think, what was the blues? People singing about their problems, talking out loud and letting the world know what they needed them to know. Basically it was their diary, them just spewing their problems out. So it's no surprise that the artists who looked up to them would also become interested in the supernatural because they spoke of it so much in their music. The blues birthplace is considered to be Mississippi. And although it's mostly Christian-based now, back then it was mostly voodoo practitioners. This slowly fed into the early rock and roll, where Jimmy Page stated in several interviews the occult was a big part of his life. Jimmy Page was a huge fan of Aleister Crowley. He was a claimed Satanist, but he said he was not a Satanist. He was a magician. Let me turn my camera on because y'all can't see me do that. He was a magician. He didn't do regular magic like we're used to, like when we think of Chris Angel or, stuff like that. He didn't do that kind of magic. He unlocked dimensions and conjured demons. And this is what he called magic. He didn't call it witchcraft or Satanism or anything like that. He said it was magic. So he was also part of the Golden Dawn Society and the Freemasons. He is also one of the ones that came up with the slogan, "Do what thou wilt." And if you were a huge fan of Led Zeppelin or anything, the earlier rock groups, you know what that is. Do what thou wilt. Let's see. So it was basically a rejection to society where the younger people kind of just said, we're not going to work. We're not going to do anything. And it opened up the whole sex, drug, and rock and roll era. So you can thank that slogan for that. Let's see. Jimmy Page also said that when he moved into his new house as a young man, he found his first guitar in a cupboard. He did not know how to play at all. He was self-taught. And within a year, he could play like a professional. He believes it was the magic and that it was actually left for him. He credited Crowley for this happening. He later formed Led Zeppelin after being on several news shows and little TV spots. He later formed Led Zeppelin, and he was constantly making references to the occult, which he was crediting for all of his success. He believed that, hi, Mystic, and no, it's not. He believed that the occult is the reason why he was successful. He then had himself, Robert Plant, he then had himself, Robert Plant, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones do a seance to set them up for life and plant them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They conjured up ancient spirits that should have only been done by more experienced people, not high rock and rollers. Hi, Dawn. How are you? So Page, Plant, and Bonham are the only ones who actually did the seance because John Paul Jones walked out. He didn't want anything to do with it. So he actually left the room and did not want to do this. So after the seance, their careers started to soar. But within a very, very short time, it all started crashing down around them. Robert Plant was almost killed in a car accident. He was severely injured. Then only 2 weeks later, his Aston Martin fell on top of him, nearly crushing him, crushed all of his ribs. This, however, did not stop Page. He continued to practice the dark magic, and with his income and fame, he was able to do more than just practice. He went as far as to purchase the home of his idol, Aleister Crowley. It was said that a seance was done in that house that changed the fabric of our universe and let out an evil unlike any other into it. Crowley supposedly summoned the kings and dukes of hell in this house. The next day, Crowley's housekeeper, her 10-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son died unexpectedly. And after that day, he abandoned the house and left it. He later stated that a former employee was acting normal, then turned and started trying to kill everyone after this seance as well. Also tried to kill his whole entire family. The next owner was a former Army general. He took his own life with a shotgun only 1 week after moving into the home. Anyone who ever visited Page's house said the shadows and evil was very present, and he could not keep any employees in this house at all. They would quit constantly. Jimmy Page only lived in this house for 3 months before he sold it, stating that there were bad vibes running all the way through it. Well, duh. You conjured up the kings of hell. In 2015, the most recent owners of the house returned home from a trip to the grocery store to find it almost completely burnt down. According to legend, this house was not the first on the land. It used to have a church sitting in the same spot as the house. But the church caught fire and burnt to the ground as well. Then the house was built on top of that. Hello, Lurch. Okay, but we're going to get back to Paige. His infatuation with Crowley wasn't just limited to buying his old house. He also bought a bookstore that was linked to Crowley's book, Magic. He also bought several properties that were said to be haunted, that of Crowley. One of his girlfriends, named Pamela LaBar, said Paige would make her travel all over in search of artifacts, lost artifacts from Crowley. He would wear hooded robes at home and during seances. He was constantly in attire to do a seance. And a lot of Paige's outfits were custom made and would have sigils and dragons and other symbols on them. It was as if he was trying to do a seance on the stage with his music. Led Zeppelin album covers all have something from Aleister Crowley on them. It spilled over into everything that had to do with Led Zeppelin. On the album Led Zeppelin 3, carved into the vinyl on one side says, "So mote it be." On the other side, it says, "Do what thou wilt." By the Led Zeppelin album 4, he wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. It had 4 sigils on the cover and the album that represented all 4 band members. And when asked what they meant, he told them he could not tell them or the ritual would be reversed. Plant stated that one night Paige told him what they meant when they were drunk, but he had forgotten by the morning. When he asked him to retell him, he yelled at him and said that he would not tell him. Paige is said to have made and given sigils to other people that he knew as well. He made these sigils for each one of the band members. Each one had its own meaning, but he would not tell the band members what they meant, and he also would not say what the band members were supposed to have given up to make this ritual happen. So, hi, Big Action Papa. Sorry, y'all, if I'm not paying attention. I'm trying to read this. So, let's see. So he wouldn't tell them. He said the ritual would be reversed, so he was not going to let them know at all. But he did give several other people sigils as well that he made for them. Sandy Denny was a frequent collaborator. She got her own from him. She was one of the first to fall from the curse of Led Zeppelin, throwing herself off a flight of stairs. She went into a coma, which she never woke up from. Kenneth Anger also received a sigil and went on to make the movie Lucifer Rising, which he collabed with Jimmy Page on. The movie album with the album covers of Led Zeppelin are said to be magic rituals. The movie took 7 years to make, and it all went wrong. Now listen to this. The lead actor, who was also a member of the Manson family, Bobby Beausoleil, stole rough cuts of the film and cameras. And to seek revenge, Kenneth Anger constructed a magic talisman with on one side there was a likeness of Beausoleil, and on the other was a toad. Beausoleil would end up in prison for life just 1 year later for being involved with the Manson murders. And he got life in prison. So Page signed a contract with Anger to do the music for the film Lucifer Rising. But Kenneth Anger realized soon that he couldn't work with Page. He said that his drug use was extreme. After multiple delays, Page only delivered 20 minutes worth of music. This caused a huge fight, and Page kicked Anger out of his house where he was living rent-free. And Kenneth Anger publicly put a curse on Page and Led Zeppelin. This claim marked the beginning of the end for Led Zeppelin. A month later, Robert Plant was nearly killed again in a second car wreck where he drove off a cliff in Greece. It nearly killed him, his wife, and his child. He was stuck in a wheelchair for several months, and then 2 days before the tour, he was struck with serious laryngitis, leaving him unable to sing, which led them to cancel their world tour that was supposed to be their biggest ever. The cancellation caused riots in so many cities, and it caused a huge one in Cincinnati amongst the fans, and they stormed the stadium. 2 years later, this was the same stadium that had a stampede that killed 11 people at a Who concert. Once they were able to tour again, so many things went wrong for them. A staff member assaulted a band manager's 11-year-old son for taking a sign off one of the dressing rooms. Bonham saw this and kicked the man away. Then some of the band and road crew found out and attacked the man. And all 4 of them found themselves arrested and almost went to prison. A week later, Robert Plant received a phone call from his wife that his 5-year-old son had fallen ill. 2 hours later, she called back to say that he had passed away. The band left and went straight to Plant's home. This spiraled the band into their darkest days. They all began a heavy addiction to drugs and alcohol. Bonham and Page being the worst. Bonham came in so drunk one day they sent him home from rehearsal. He was sent to Page's house and tucked into bed. He died in his sleep at the age of 32. This tore the band apart, and they swore to never record music again. Jimmy Page seemed to come out mostly unscathed, which seems very odd seeing how he was the only one who knew all the meanings of the sigils and never disclosed what was actually given in return for their success. So I found that very crazy that he knew what he had given the devil for their success, but none of the people who actually were supposed to be there knew what they were giving up. So basically, one was their life, one was their first son, one, but the John Paul Jones, he left the room. So he actually wasn't part of the ritual itself. He did not participate in the seance. So even though he did have a few things happening, he was pretty much unscathed as well. But Robert Johnson was the start of all that. Now here's 3 more people. There was a crap ton more who have said that they sold their soul to the devil, and they'll openly admit it to everyone. And they even write music about it. But here's 3 that surprised me. So John Lennon is famous for saying that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus. So we already knew he was a blasphemer. One Beatles scholar, however, has spent years interpreting hidden messages and symbols in John Lennon's music, artwork, and album covers. And he believes that he has evidence that Lennon actually sold his soul to the devil. In 1968, the Rolling Stones released a new album that confirmed every parent's darkest suspicion. Rock and roll was indeed the devil's music. The opening song of Beggar's Banquet was, of course, Symphony for the Devil. Keith Richards told Rolling Stone magazine that some people saw them as acting as unknown agents of Lucifer, while others think we are Lucifer. Either way, we're in trouble, was his statement. In 2016, Bob Dylan was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. It was pretty much a surprise to everyone, except perhaps Bob. He explained in an interview, "It's a destiny thing. I made a devil's bargain, and I'm holding up my end." Okay, y'all can unmute now. There was so many other ones that.
Well, that last one surprised me a little bit,
Yeah.
but the Rolling Stones don't, and
Yeah.
even John Lennon.
Well, if you look at it, all these people were huge fans of blues. That's how they basically got into their music. Robert Johnson, and Muddy Waters, all that. They pushed them into kind of their genre and the way they sang and the way they wrote music. So if you're listening to their music and it's constantly talking about, because almost I researched it, 75% of blues music mentions Satan, the devil, dark figures, shadow men. They all mention something to that effect. So, yeah, Janis Joplin did die at 27 too. There was several that died around that age. I can't remember. I was going to look at, didn't Amy Winehouse die at 27?
Yep.
What's his name? Kurt
Cobain.
Yeah. Was he 27?
I think so.
I mean, it's almost like they made the same exact deal.
27 Club.
Yeah.
That's
The 27
I
Club,
think
yeah.
so.
So
I wouldn't be surprised.
It really makes you wonder, like, did they all make the same deal? And that's the bad thing about making the deal with the devil. You know, like some people would say, oh, if I had a wish, I would wish for $1 million. But then the next day, someone in their family dies that has $1 million life insurance policy.
Guess who else died at 27?
Who?
Jimi Hendrix.
I was gonna say, yeah.
He was in that. I read him on the paper. He was the one that I compared him to. That one.
Amy Winehouse even died at 27.
The 27 Club. Yeah. So many people died at 27 who were all associated, and they were all associated with the same groups of people. And all these people would have jam sessions at these houses. They were all part of all these social clubs. They were devil worshiping and having seances and stuff. So
seances, table crossing, tipping. That started in 19.
Jim Morrison.
You would. Okay. You know the devil's a trickster. You know he's not gonna fulfill anything without taking something bad.
Of course. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a whole list of.
How was River Phoenix?
Hold on, I'll look.
So why would you want to make a deal with the devil? I know people want fame and fortune and all that, but really, what are you willing to give up?
I was
never did that.
23.
23, okay.
Yeah, 23.
How about files?
I was looking at the sigils that Led Zeppelin got, and unless there's other sigils that they got from this Crowley, I don't understand. There's just the first one, the one that Jimmy Page got. It's a ZOSO, so we all know what that means. But then there's John Pillier Jones and John Boheman and Robert Plant.
Yes.
Well, the two Johns got, it's a symbol of a witch knot or eternity together.
Yeah, the Celtic.
Yeah, so they're always together. They're protected. It's a protection symbol.
Well, the ones that are on his album are not actually the sigils that he made them. Those were the sigils of their signs. That was there was four members, and they had 4 signs, 4 different signs. And so they used that for their cover. But he actually made the sigils for them when they did the seance.
Because these ones that I find so far, they're harmless except for the Zozo one.
Yeah.
But
Jimmy Plants was the Zozo one, wasn't it? Robert Plant.
Jimmy Page was
because he was the one that was in charge, and he was the one that like did so much devil worshiping. Like he was constantly doing seances, and he pretty much lost his mind with that stuff. He had stuff everywhere in his house.
Thus, maybe the song by Charlie Daniels, "Devil Went Down to Georgia." You know, looking for a soul to steal.
Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if Charlie Daniels did. I can guarantee he was drunk on something when he did, though.
Or he smoked some mighty good one. That's what I say. But it's so innocent. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin, and I heard that if you put it backwards, you would hear a message and this and that. But I never stopped and tried it.
Yes, big action, Papa. So Robert Plant worked on a movie with Kenneth Anger, who did the Lucifer Rising. And one of the guys that was part of the Manson murders, he was actually the lead actor in the movie. And they said this movie was a huge seance. Like the music, the imagery, everything. If you watch the movie, you were actually participating in the seance. So worldwide, people were participating in this seance that was supposed to help them get the things that they wanted. So he actually stole bits and pieces of this broken seance, because if he didn't have the whole entire thing, it's a broken seance. And he stole that, and then 1 year later, he was part of the Manson murders.
Wow.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hi, Everyday Treasurer. I mean, I went down a deep rabbit hole today with that stuff.
Yeah, you did.
I kept saying, what? And then I'd go in there and I'd tell my dad something. I'd come back in there and I'd push play. And then I was writing stuff, taking notes. And I mean, like literally my notebook is full of notes. Just everywhere from these documentaries I kind of went down. And it was crazy how many people, and they will literally tell you, they say, how did you become so famous? What got you started? They'll say, I made a deal with the devil.
Wow.
Like they're almost proud of it. You'd be surprised, some of them though.
Hey, didn't Elvis Presley, in one of his things, he said he sold his soul to the devil?
I don't know, but that would not surprise me. Because look at how things ended for him. I know they said Michael Jackson, Angelina Jolie, and you know, a lot of these people that are in the Scientology, they are ones that said that they sold their soul. Yeah, the Equinox was the one he bought because it had a lot to do with the book Magic, that was his Bible, and he would say that was his Bible, Magic. Yeah, I never would play it backwards because it always scared me, but I had several people that I knew that did, and they said that it was very.
I had guy friends that were older than me back then, and they do it like every day, and this, but they were kind of weird on the weird side, you know. And they would tell me all the time, and they would tell me bits of what it would say, but really can't remember because I didn't believe it that you put a record backwards, that you something, you know. I didn't believe it, and I never tried it, so I should have tried.
I just didn't want to scratch up my record, so
Yeah.
And they were so expensive.
Happy birthday, Wendy. Elvis did sell his soul. Don't let Slim hear you say that.
Probably did.
Well, Slim wrote something about story goes all have a burn mark on their bodies to show
Their deal with the devil.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
Well, yeah, he's got to mark his territory. I could not believe how many people were just so blatantly open about it. But every single one of them had something tragic, something severely tragic happen.
And you know, they named a card out Equinox,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 3 people I know that had it, and their cars gave them nothing but trouble.
Yeah. Don't buy an Equinox, people. Y'all heard it right here.
Yes, it can. It'll give you heartburn. King Ghost. It can make him talk to you. Yes, it can. You need too much.
That's what I'm saying, Big Action Papa. Why would they even chance it? But see, that's what throws me so bad is on Led Zeppelin, how he was the main one who did all this devil worshiping and all that, and he's the one that made the sigils. And most of the bad stuff happened to the other people. So did he say, okay, you can let the bad stuff happen to them. I just want to be famous, and I want to worship you. Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Like he held all the cards.
He was quite famous back then. When I was a teenager, early teenager, Lucifer and this and that was very famous
Whoa, wait a minute.
and admired.
Well,
And it was where I grew up there.
it was a time of the kids where the kids didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to go to work. They didn't want to pay bills. They just wanted to go out, smoke pot, and listen to rock and roll and not do nothing.
Yeah.
And so that made it even more popular, is that so they could have something to worship and something to tell them it was okay.
Yeah, and especially they took at heart teacher let them kids or something free there, whatever. From Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah.
They took that at heart also, and yeah, all the Led Zeppelin songs. It was whew, back then.
That one saying, "Do what thou wilt," that was their anthem. That was their.
Well, you were saying something about Elvis.
Yeah.
So I want to say something
I
about Elvis.
knew he was going to come in here when something about Elvis.
Whoa. What?
The story goes that Elvis did sell his soul to the devil, and that's why he dabbled into all different religions to try to find a way out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's a story that was told. I don't know how true that is.
Well, I mean, it would make sense. You see, honestly, you see a lot of the actors and actresses and stuff that, and another one that they said was Jay-Z. They said that he was really bad into it, and that because you remember like how Beyonce was before she got with Jay-Z, before she was, she wore light clothes. She was very like the girly girl. Now that she's got with him, she's constantly wearing all black and looks more rough.
Yeah.
But look at it, especially rock and roll. And I know there was a lot of drugs, there was a lot of alcohol, but look at some of the massive losses that we had with some of these amazing bands. It's crazy. Bobby Brown and Whitney, that don't surprise me in one bit. I'm sorry, that does not surprise me at all.
Well, the thing about it is all they had to do is ask Christ for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Action Papa, yeah, he made his costumes to represent his sigils and all that. Every one of his costumes had sigils on them. And that's what they said. It's like he was doing a seance while he was performing.
I wonder if Ozzy did.
That would
You
probably,
can't understand a word Ozzy Osbourne says, but when he sings, you can understand it.
yes.
But that one wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Surprise me one bit either. I mean, he bit the head off a bat, for God's sakes.
Exactly.
I seen him when you walk through the old Charlotte Coliseum. There was this big old barrel there, and everybody that went in this concert spit in it, and then they rolled it out on stage, and he took a thing and drank out of it.
Oh.
Whether or not it was actually the spit, I don't know. But yeah, they was somebody was throwing kittens up on the stage, and he threw them back out in the audience. He thought they was fake.
Yeah.
He actually thought the bat was fake too.
Now, Alice Cooper is a Christian. My uncle was but what I'm saying is Alex Cooper, I know, is a Christian now because my uncle David plays in a band and he opened for Alice Cooper. And he had talked about how he would say a prayer before he went out on the stage and everything. But he said he was pretty religious now. Back then, I don't know, but
it was weird. I was just sitting there looking through Facebook and seeing Guns N' Roses back when they was young. And it was weird because Axl Rose, this is back when they was performing in millions of people out in the audience, so you know. But he didn't have one tattoo on his arm.
Did he have them all removed?
I don't know. I mean, I was sitting there looking for him, and I started to screenshot it and send it to the chat. But you know, he had that cross with Guns N' Roses on his forearm and all them tattoos, and he didn't have a tattoo one. He was singing "Knocking on Heaven's Door." He didn't have a tattoo one on his arm. And he had them before he got famous.
Everyday Treasure. What are you saying? Axl Rose cannot sing.
He can't sing.
Maybe not now.
He looks like a clown.
But he could sing.
Oh, heck yes.
That's like a lot of people say Willie can't sing, but I like listening to Willie.
He can sing too. He's just always high. Now, I'm going to hope and pray that my favorite singer of all time did not sell his soul to the devil. But I think there's only one way in this world the man could have a voice like he does.
George Strait.
No. Oh, God, no. He wouldn't have sold his soul to the devil. He's God. He's perfect.
He's perfect.
He does not eat.
George.
No. My favorite singer who has the voice of, I don't know, Steven Tyler is my favorite ever. And that man can sing. So I'm hoping and praying. And I even just got his memoir. I got his book given to me. And I was so excited about it. But that would suck if he did. But honestly, they didn't have a whole lot of bad stuff happen to them. I mean, they had a very successful career for a very long time. And he's still singing to this day. So
he's doing
good.
Bone disease, but he's still singing.
Yeah, but I'm going to stop him.
Poison or Motley Crue, one of them had a really bad run.
Look at
Motley. I'm wondering about them.
Yeah.
The lead guitarist, Mark.
Well, yeah.
He's had a rough life. I mean, ever since he joined the band, he's had a rough life.
Well, Brett Michaels, he's still singing, and he's followed me like 20 times on Twitter. I
know.
Michaels.
It's so disappointing it wasn't the real one.
Very, very disappointing that the real Brett Michaels is not following me, but like there's like 20 other ones that are. I've only got like 2 other followers, so.
I just wonder if they drunk Bud Light in the early days.
What?
The poison.
Oh my God.
Well, I just found some that reckon they've been some that admitted some of the celebrities, and
Crazy.
It's interesting because yes, Angelina Jolie reckon that someone secretly recorded.
Yeah, they recorded her admitting it, and then they released it.
But also Britney Spears.
On famous people that's secretly devil worshippers. It's crazy, but then again, you can't believe everything you see on the internet.
Exactly.
Even now, when you look up stuff on Google, you cannot believe nothing it says.
Well, that's why I only read the last the 3 that I read, and all of these things were confirmed in the documentaries that I watched because they were not shy about admitting that they did seances and that Aleister Crowley was their mentor and their god, and everything. So, but the last 3, I went and watched videos of their interviews where they said it, like they openly admitted it, that they.
Yeah, and Lady Gaga apparently has been open about her ties to the Illuminati.
Lady Gaga definitely. I'm sorry. And Miranda Lambert, she had to have. Have y'all seen what that woman did. I don't like her anyway. So sorry if y'all are Miranda Lambert fans.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
She stopped her concert mid-song and yelled at a group of women they were turned around and they were trying to take selfies of themselves with her in the background. And she cussed them out and told them to stop and that they were being disrespectful of her. And if they were going to come, and I understand you want people to pay attention to you, but they were in VIP seating, $780 per person. And I think there was like 8 of them there together. If they want to take a picture of themselves at the concert,
Yeah.
with you in the background, who cares?
I just want to understand all these musicians and stuff that are like people that's illegally downloading their music or whatever. If they're bumping their music off in their radios in the car or whatever, somebody's going to want to know who is that, and so that's going to gain more fans. So they're going to go out and find their music.
I mean, honestly, it's this day and age. They know that people can play the music anywhere. They know it can be downloaded for free if they can find a spot to download it. I mean, at least they're listening to your music. They don't have to listen to it at all. Hi, AD, love you. That really gets on my nerves, that whole. And it don't work for us little people, because I've tried to copyright somebody who took my whole entire video and it's still up.
That's the big controversy too that's going on with Jason Aldean right now. They're trying to say that I see nothing wrong with it because he was not pinpointing any race. He was just singing what he thought, how he grew up. And, it's true because, where they have these riots, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, they always something going on there. But, his thing was, if you come to a small town, communities are going to join together. That's why it's try that in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what he was trying to do, and they're just blowing all of this out of proportion.
Yeah, a lot of things. You can't say
that's against him.
You can't say anything nowadays. Hi, David. Because it's these youngins. They think they know it all. I'm sorry. We need to go back to beating our kids. No, I'm just kidding. Don't take that out of context, people. Yeah. But you gotta stop babying these kids and start putting their butts in the corner and start spanking them.
Yep.
Kids are so entitled nowadays. It's unreal. So
I got flagged for a comment on Facebook, my first one, the other day, because my daughter tagged me in something. There was a robbery up at my local bottle shop, that they're attached to. It was the bottle shop. 2 teenagers went and pepper sprayed the poor bird behind the damn counter and ripped off with 2 cartons of, UDL cans or like Urban and Coke or whatever in cans. They got pictures of them, but my daughter had tagged me in it, and I'm like, little bees need a good old-fashioned flogging. Mm-hmm. And I got a little thing pop up, maybe breaching, and I'm like, my first little thing of warning me.
Yeah, but they show so much pornographic stuff on there, and it's okay.
But
exactly. Like, I'm like, what? Can I use the word bee and flogging? And I'm just like, well, they do. What if they had been perhaps brought up with a little bit more discipline and respect? They may not have done that.
Exactly.
I will admit I reported a video because the first few seconds of the video, I know this is how it works, but when you're like me, you hardly don't eat meat and you were vegan before, it's hard to accept and see is that the first few minutes of the video, it's in another country, I don't want to say they're poor, I don't know. They're just in another country jungle style, and you see a pig coming, and they whack the pig right on the head, like you know.
They shouldn't show that stuff though. There's no reason to show it.
Exactly.
What, my God, what is this? I was shocked. I reported it, and the video's still up. It's they're not doing crap about it. It's like it's animal rights. You know, you can
there. I'm the same. I can't stand. And don't get me wrong. I know, you know, hunting's still a thing in certain countries and areas, and where you live, and all the rest of it, and that's fine. But I don't need to see it.
I really know that's how they do it on farms. That's how they make it. You know, but we don't have to see it. You know. And there was another thing, I can't remember what it was, but it's still there again. It's like, it's so gross. Like I wake up in the morning. Oh, that was one of my channels that I was subscribed to.
Yeah.
So I click on it.
You just can't see it.
Yeah, I know. So I blocked it.
Well, a couple of years ago, there was, and Twinkie remembers this too, I know, because we threw such a fit about it. There was a video on there of a dog, and these guys were kicking it and hitting it and
Oh my Lord.
dragging it on the ground. And I reported it. Twinkie reported it. Several of us reported it. We asked everybody to go report it. I got a message the next day saying that it did not go against their guidelines and that they were leaving the video up.
How does that not go against their guidelines? It's physical violence against an animal.
Someone killing a dog online. That shows you right there that it's all computerized. Nobody's actually watching these videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's like
Agreed, Dom. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's seen a video when people mistreating turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
So my son has not ate turkey since, and that's when he was young. He's 20, almost 25 now.
Yeah, there was a news report on how the pork's done here in my local state. Mum, that's it, done that pork because they're not as humane as they should be.
You see, I have trouble watching those TV shows that it's a veterinarian clinic and the dog comes in and he had an accident. I cry like a baby when I watch.
Me too.
I tell Eric, change the channel quick. I don't want to see doggies get hurt.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I can't even watch the documentary style things. You know, like I know it's the way of nature. I know it's life cycle, but I can't watch it. I just can't watch anything against animals, even if it's another animal with another animal. I can't.
Oh yeah, that too. No, I can't. There's the food chain. I know all that, but I just can't.
Yes, E.T. Yes.
We ain't judging ET. That's what you're supposed to do. And really, technically, I think it's a law, isn't it? That in a lot of states, it's an actual law that if you see a turtle in the middle of the road, you pull over and help it get to the other side. Or it should. Don't get yourself killed, but like help if you can.
There was a guy in front of me coming home from work one day. He had stopped in the middle of the road. I couldn't go around. I didn't know what he was doing. He was getting a turtle out of the road.
Yeah. Ours is cows and buffalo, stuff like that. You know, stuff that you can't get out and like shoo away. And sometimes you'll be sitting there for hours, but you know, they have the right of way.
Here too, ET, and I get it for truck drivers. You know, like that's a big rig. That's really hard to do anything about if an animal's on the road.
I feel bad if it's right under my car or something, and I end up running it over. I feel so bad.
Oh no, my mom, and I just read Slim's deal too about the squirrels. So the squirrels here are suicidal. They will ride in front of you every single time. I'm not even joking. They wait on the side of the road till you get right up to them and they run out. And my mom, one ran out in front of her. Oh my Lord, Roberta. One ran out in front of her and she could not do anything about it. There was no time to stop, no time to swerve, nothing. And she hit it. And she stopped in the middle of the road and cried for like 10 minutes. It breaks her heart. Anytime. And so every time she sees a squirrel, she's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Because we know they're gonna right out to the car. The deer here are that way too. They don't get hit; they hit you.
Yes.
Yeah, here
Usually
too.
out of your car, they T-bone you.
Yep.
I had a Oldsmobile Cutlass. It was I just had a new paint job and everything on it. And I was taking my roommate to her mom and dad's house, and all I could see, I was driving down the road, and all I seen, first thing I seen was a deer's face up against my window, and my car was like this all the way down. And then I waited for the cops to get there. The cops coming. You want the deer? No. And then we got to my roommate's dad's house, and he's like, "Where's it at?" I was like,
Yeah. Here, if you hit a deer, like you have to call it in. You can't just leave it. You have to call it in. But if it's salvageable, they'll ask you if you want it. 9 times out of 10 here, people are going to take it. But because I mean, don't let it go to waste.
well, they've been taking it like the prisons and stuff too.
Mhm. Yeah, well, a lot of people do that here. They take it and then they have it processed. They'll even pay to have it processed, and then they'll take it to like the food pantry, stuff like that, and let them give it away. We've even had stuff donated to us at the senior center whenever I was working there, but we couldn't use any of that. We can only use processed meat that comes from a farm, or an actual. It has to have a business license, like a farm that has a business license and stuff like that. We couldn't use like meat that somebody just brought in, like a hunter or something like that.
Here, the deer, we call it in, yeah. And they leave it on the side of the road until it's about to explode. And then someone picks it up. They say the meat is not good because when it got hit, it was stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the meat is harder. So
Well, a lot of times too, it'll bust the bladder, and if you bust the bladder, you can't use the meat.
Oh, that too, yeah. But yeah, they leave it on the side of the road, and you pass like every day. The stomach's getting bigger.
I've seen a hog like that before. We have a lot of wild hogs here that'll run out, and I seen one, and it was, oh my God, I felt so bad. It was huge. It looked like it was about to explode, and I was like, no, somebody please come and move that.
Yeah, because could you imagine riding by that and it decides to explode when you're right there?
No.
That'd be
That happens here with roos and things, and especially on the big long hauls between towns and things. In up north more, and if you go to the Northern Territory and across the Nullarbor to get to South Australia, you got to worry about emus and camels, and not just kangaroos, because kangaroos are the main ones. But yeah, it's hard because we've got such big stretches, so they tend to just get left there, and it's not very nice. Not very
They
nice.
put an orange post too.
So how many kangaroos get hit there?
Well, just say if I do a city trip, that's 400 k's away, and each trip I'll at least see 1 or 2. Mainly as I get more towards the city, there's the odd 1 or 2 down, sort of in between all the country towns, but it's mainly the trucks when they're coming in and out of the city, and as they get down through the forest in the outer suburbs and onto the country roads. Generally, I mean, the trip before, there must have been 6 or 8 of them. They're just, and a variety of sizes. This last time, it was actually foxes. I haven't seen many foxes on the side of the road for a few years. But yeah, so it depends on what shire you're in and all that sort of thing. But I had to drive over something on my way back. I couldn't tell you what it was. It may have been a sheep. I'm not sure. But it was literal last second. I had a split second traveling at 100, and I was behind 2 other big 4-wheel drives, and I've only got a little Mazda 3, so I'm not very high off the ground. And I had to make that split second decision. Do I try to stop or swerve? But it all happened so fast that I had to just drive over. Oh my God.
It happened to me with a cat.
That sound under it could have gone really bad. My car just went over it, but as I looked in my rear view, as it's coming out the other end, crap's just flying everywhere. And I'm like, oh don't look back, Jazz, don't look back. And she's just like, that sounded so terrible, Mum. What was it? I said, I got no clue.
Yeah.
But I had no time, and we're only a single lane up and back until you reach like overtaking lanes. Where I am, and it just, I was like, man, that could have been up on the windscreen. You know, our car is so low, but thankfully, thank you.
So
it just lots of crap under the car.
me and my mom were coming in the other day, and there was some kind of critter that got ran over, and it was completely flat. Like it looked like somebody kind of did the whole, you know.
I hate that. I've seen that.
And just on a side note, I need to go back and listen at like 1:14 because while you were talking, I heard a woman say hello. But it was weird. Huh?
You ain't the only one that heard it.
Okay. The front part of the body looked really big. So I don't know if maybe it.
Hey, David.
I don't know. But the front paws were huge, but the back paws were teeny tiny. And it had the weirdest looking face. Of course, any kind of face is going to look weird smashed on the ground. But it was really weird looking. Like, I'd never seen, me and my mom were trying to figure out what kind of, like, we thought maybe a field rat or something like that, but it wasn't. Thank you, Amy. I'm not crazy. Okay, so other people heard it too. I'm glad that I didn't want to interrupt Vodka while she was talking, but I definitely heard it. And it sounded like somebody to me, it sounded like it would be like Mary saying it. Hello.
Casey's boyfriend the other day, just been around here. There's a lot of coyotes, and they're getting overpopulated. Well, apparently, Casey's boyfriend has asked the coyotes have been trying to get their chickens, and so he killed a coyote the other day, and it was pretty. I mean, I think pretty animals, but you know, he had to kill it.
I'm sorry, but most coyotes are not pretty.
Well, this one was really
well. So, okay, some of them are pretty. Some of them are West Texas coyotes, and them things are just mangy as heck. They look so gross. Why did your light just dim, Sandra? Oh, your screen. Okay.
Yeah,
everybody feels to see what's going on because I heard that. So
yeah, no.
Love y'all too. And hello, Andre.
Here's his.
Oh.
But it was, you know, trying to kill their animals. So, you know, sometimes you have to.
Possums are not beautiful. Possums are the scariest little psychos ever.
Our dog, when we had dogs outside, they would use possums as rag dolls. They get a hold of one and they would just sling it everywhere.
Yeah, I will, Andre. My sister-in-law called me screaming one morning, Savannah, and she said, get down here, get down here. I thought something happened to one of the kids or to my brother. So I go flying. She only lived like a couple blocks away. I go flying down there, and I run in the house, and she's standing in her kitchen with the Folgers. You know, them big plastic Folgers, the big ones. She's got that on her floor, and she's got her hands over it, and she's holding it on the ground. And I said, what are you doing? She said, there's a possum under here. So somehow it flips it back, and we all scream and jump. It takes off running into their pantry, and it was hissing the whole time. But she woke up, and she said she felt something on her legs and stuff, and she kept saying, Greg, leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. And so she throws the covers back, and this possum is in between her and my brother in the bed, and it hisses at her. So she ditches my brother. She takes off running, and it chases her down the hallway into the kitchen. And she literally takes the lid off the coffee, throws the coffee everywhere, and throws the coffee deal over the possum while trying to call me. It took us forever. We had to call and have them come remove it because, you know, a lot of times they'll say if a lot of that stuff's out in the daytime, there might be something wrong. They may have rabies or, you know. So,
Andre.
we had to have somebody come help us get it out of the house. And that thing was hissing at us like crazy. It was a little psycho.
Was it the opossum one or just a normal, like what it, because
Yeah.
you've got a couple
I
I
had,
know they're mean, but they're great at keeping ticks away, apparently. Is it
I'm good
ticks?
at keeping them away too. So I don't need an opossum to do that. I'd rather fight the.
I had an ordeal with a person in my house. This is when Kayla was about 1.5 years old, and I was potty training her. I was on her dad was out in the yard messing with his boat or something, and I was on the phone with my mom. Well, Kayla said she had to use the bathroom, and she had her little potty next to the big. Well, she goes, she wanted to sit on the big one, so I put her up on the big one, and I walked into the kitchen. All of a sudden, I heard, "Mama, Mama," and where my towels and stuff are, there was like a curtain over it, and I heard, "Mama, Mama, it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me," and I'm like, what in the world's going on? I told my mom, I said, hold on for a minute. I went in there and she was sitting on the toilet. She had her feet on the toilet and everything. And I said, what are you doing? She says, it's going to get me. And she was pointing at the shelf where my towels and stuff were and the curtain was shut. And I said, what are you talking about? She goes, it's back there. I took and moved that thing and a possum jumped out. Lord have mercy. I thought I needed her to move over because I was getting ready to sit where she was. That thing ran into my kitchen, was running all around my kitchen. I hollered for my brother because he lived next door. That thing's running around in my living room. And my brother jumps up on my new couch and he's running on my couch around the house. He finally got it. I said, just get it outside. Just get it out. He said, well, just go come right back in. So he ended up killing it. And I said, you get to clean all that up. And then he goes and throws it in my flower bed.
Oh, my gosh.
I said, get it out of my flower bed.
Did you see what Rob said, Twinkie? He said, damn, I'm in bed right now, and Tammy's leg just touching me, and I jumped, Amy. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, April. That's why I laughed out loud. I couldn't help myself. As soon as I read it, I just about
Them things are just they're nasty. Well, so it's not just the big critters that get me; it's the little ones too. But so I have a story about something that happened night before last. So my mom come into my dad's room and she was getting his stuff ready. So my dad has his own room because he has medical stuff, and he has to have his own room. So she was in here getting his stuff ready, and she thought Layne threw something and hit her in the back. And she turned around to yell at Layne, and there was a huge, and I'm not joking when I say huge, grasshopper. It was literally this long and about this wide. We thought maybe it was one of the katydids or whatever they are, but it wasn't. It was a grasshopper, huge. And so my mom is screaming, not, she's just trying to figure out where it went because it was jumping. So me and Layne come running to the door, and apparently it flies between me and Layne. I didn't see it, but Layne saw it, and she freaked. No lurch, and that's not on our doing. So, she freaked out big time, and starts having a panic attack. So it flies into my mom's room. And it's bouncing and hitting the walls, and it's making thudding noises. This is how big it is. It's making thudding noises on the wall. And so we finally get Layne calmed down. And I'm sitting in my mom's desk chair, and Layne's laying on the bed by my mom. And we're watching a show. Well, Layne and my mom both see this thing jump up on my mom's lampshade beside my mom, and Layne freaks out again. So we decide we're going to have to get rid of this thing, or we're not going to be able to sleep or nothing. So we have Layne go get us a styrofoam cup, and my mom catches it on the wall in this styrofoam cup. So we're trying to slide a piece of paper under the cup to pull it away from the wall to take it out. So it takes me and my mom a good 10 minutes to get it to where we can pull the paper apart. And So I grab it and I tell Layne, go open the door, go open the door. So my mom and dad live in apartments. And so when you go out their door, you're not actually in the outside, you're out in the lobby area.
Nice.
And so Layne opens up the door. I run to the door and I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to get rid of this cup and everything without it jumping. So I throw the whole entire cup, paper, and grasshopper out the door and I slam it shut. And Layne starts laughing. She thinks it's the funniest thing that I threw the cup and everything out the door. And I'm not even joking when I say it took her about 30 minutes to quit laughing from this. But that thing, is anybody else having trouble with like grasshoppers and crickets and stuff like that? They're everywhere.
My daughter had a big, gigantic black spider on the ceiling of her bedroom where the baby sleeps.
Oh my God.
She calls me up and she says, and she's crying, and then she finally relaxed and told me. Well, I said, take a picture. Let's see what it is. You know, she sends me the picture. Oh my God, I would have fell on my butt too. I said, take a vacuum cleaner and suck it up and put the vacuum cleaner on the porch. You know, and when your boyfriend gets home, put the spider away, you know, something. So she goes, okay, I'll go try that. That's a good idea. Because she couldn't reach it with a, let's say, a fly swapper or whatever. But with
that's the problem when they're on the ceiling, isn't it? Especially for shorties like us.
No, but she's tall.
Spider is a dead spider.
Yes, very much so. Rob, why are you saying that Tammy has stubble?
We're telling Tammy.
You just said that Tammy has hairy legs, Rob. And Tammy, if you were laying beside Rob, please hit him.
Kick him in the...
Hardly.
We'll tell you later what you said.
Okay, so I just got a message. Can y'all please also pray for Fluffy and Jen as well? Please keep them in your prayers. God knows why. I cannot believe Rob is calling Tammy out like that on here.
No.
And to say she has hairy legs.
And I just talked to Tammy the other night. I'll just have to talk to her again.
Come on, Roberta. Shame on you. I'm hoping he's not texting and commenting because she's got him tied down on the bed beating the crap out of him.
Probably.
But we've got about 5 minutes or so because I got to go get Layne at 10. So what's everybody got going on? Stubble is hairy legs, E.T. Stubble means she has hair protruding from her legs. And that is what Rob said, that his wife had hairy legs.
Yeah, I saw hairy legs go by, but I didn't see who wrote it.
Okay, so does anybody got anything going on this week? Twinkie, are you going to be going live this week? Or are you?
I might be going. If I don't go to Virginia, I'm going to try to go live.
Okay.
We used to get crickets in our house, and one was in our bed. I was asleep, and it landed on my head, and Tammy slapped it off my head with she slapped it off his head while he was asleep. I bet you woke up real quick.
I bet that wasn't even a cricket. I think she just wanted to hit you for something.
An excuse.
Oh, all right. So be watching for Twinkie to go live. Miss Sandra, what you got coming up?
Well, I'm gonna start up my channel again with the regular schedule that I had. My vacations will be finished on Sunday night, so I start over again on Monday.
All right.
And I started how do you say that in English?
Parapalooza?
No, a parapsychology course.
Nice.
Yeah, and got it.
Looking into that stuff too, so I may be coming to you for some advice.
I just started, and I'm halfway through module 1 and going good. So
That's
what
awesome.
happens from there. And I'll tell you guys as I go along. how is it going, and little tricks here and there if I have some. I'll be putting it up on the channel.
Awesome.
And upon that, well, I'm going to postpone my Canadian true scary stories for the moment. There's a little flicker going around that I have to attend to and fix up. So that'll be... Anyways, it didn't seem to work really good. So
Okay.
I'm going to be taking that down and start something new and fresh.
And we know whatever you come up with will be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just taking my time to make sure that this time no say something about it.
Yeah, I understand completely.
Yeah.
Debbie is eating KFC flavored potato chips.
I've
Cody
seen yours here, but
rip an arm off for those. So everybody be watching for Sandra's comeback. She's been taking a much needed break, so we'll be glad to welcome her back. Miss VodkaVamp. Do we foresee any of your awesome, amazing, very inspiring videos coming out?
Well, I did actually try and get a hump day tarot reading or oracle reading out this week, but the universe was against it. So that got scrapped. I was really peeved because, yeah, it did all sorts of wrong. The thing stopped on me and I didn't touch anything. And then I thought I'd done it again. And then there was somehow it had done it again. The thing I was using just chopped off my ending the last 2 minutes again. And I'm just like, yeah, all right, I'll take the sign. Thank you. All right, not today. So I'm hoping next week to get one of them up. And I am starting to feel a little bit more inspired again. So, yes, you may have a positivity type. You can do it type video coming. So.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to those. And I always enjoyed them when you were putting them up. So that'd be awesome to see.
Twinkie, I was just thinking, tomorrow night,
Mm-hmm.
are you up for Estes method?
Sure.
We'll do the Estes method tomorrow night.
Okay. Sounds good.
And anybody else that wants to try.
Sounds good to me.
I'd love to, but I apologise for not being around your Friday nights. They're my Saturday mornings, and we've been going to Mum's every Saturday to get the house and yard all organised. So.
Family first.
Family is always first. We're all family. We know this. We're all family. But your immediate family is your priority, and we all completely understand that. So if you have to be away, it's all good with us. We know you're there in spirit. So I did something this last week that I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try to do one every 2 weeks or so, maybe one a week. I'm taking some of our older videos that a lot of people may or may not have seen, some that we enjoyed doing and making, and I'm re-editing them because my editing skills back then were crap, and I've learned a lot since then. So I'm trying to re-edit them some and putting them back up. This is helping me because I'm getting a video up in the times that I've not been able to film because it's been kind of rough. I've been trying to do a few auditing things for my old boss and stuff to keep us going until we get back on the truck. And so I haven't been able to do a whole lot of filming. And we are going to be going back out on the truck. So I need something that's going to kind of tide us over. Plus, I'm going to be doing some shorts. And I'll still continue to try to do the lives. But y'all bear with me when we do get back out there so I can get situated again. Because it's been over 5 weeks since we've been on the truck.
Well, it was awesome. I love that one you've just put up, Amy. That was really good. I hadn't actually seen that one that I remember. So, yeah, I enjoyed that.
I was confused. I'm there. I think I saw this already. Or maybe I saw James' video that I never saw Amy.
But I noticed one thing that Amy did when I was watching it, when you introduced James.
Yeah.
You didn't say view from the middle. You said
because at that time his channel name was James Robinson.
Oh, okay.
That was that video our very first year, and his channel was James Robinson then, and then he changed it the second year to a view from the middle. So I was still introducing him as James.
Oh, okay. Then I was looking at my foot.
Yeah. So that's when I put it in the letters, his actual channel name, because I was like, why in the heck did I introduce him as James Roy? And then I was like, oh yeah, this was done then.
I was confused. Did I see it on James' channel? And now I'm seeing it for the first time on Amy's.
No, you did see it on mine. I'm just taking them and kind of revamping them a little bit just to kind of have something to put up, because our analytics are starting to look a lot better, and I want them to stay that way. I don't want them to bottom out again, because that took forever to climb out of.
I have one video to do like that. It's an abandoned jail here.
Mm-hmm.
And today you can't go inside, and the guys here, Angelo and Mo, they want to go inside. So what I'm going to do is remake that video, because it was one of my first ones, to say, look, I went inside.
Make sure you tag them, hun. Make sure you tag them.
For sure. And I'll say it pays to be a woman in urbex. But that's how it happened. I saw a guy walk out of there, a random dude walking out. I said, oh, hi, can I film inside? And this is... So I got in. I said, oh, yes. But, yeah. So.
Lucky. Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to see that, because I wouldn't have seen that one, I don't think. So.
No, it makes a long. It's one of my first ones, so it's kind of weird looking. So I'm going to work on it. And that was the only one I planned to redo just because of them.
Well, there's a lot of our videos, because we had, counting live streams, shorts, and videos, we have, I think now it's like somewhere around 1,300. So there's a lot of our older videos that people may or may not have seen. And it's not going to be the quality of today, because we have better cameras today. We have better lighting. We have better everything. So plus better editing. So it's not going to be the quality we have today. So I'm trying to revamp it a little bit and try to make it as good as possible. But, you know, it's going to be what it is. Just until we can get out and get some more stuff going. But I think that's it. And I've got to get on my way to go get Layne, because she'll start calling and saying, where are you at? But thank you, ladies, for coming up here with me tonight and not making me do this by myself. Thank you all for coming in and spending this time with us. I hope y'all enjoyed the topic tonight, and I hope we get some more really good discussions going, because I've got a lot of ideas for discussions I want to talk about. But this one was a good one, and I thank y'all for going down the rabbit hole with me. But we love you guys. You mean the world to us. We hope you know that, and we hope to see y'all tomorrow night on Twinkies. All right. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Night.
Love you. Let me go to end broadcast and not leave studio.